Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are going to start the talk in about a minute, just to allow a little time for everyone to join. Okay, hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. I would like to introduce you to our presenters, Gil Trotino and Ron Ezekiel from K2View, who bring a combined experience of over 20 years serving enterprises in data-intensive operational and analytical workloads. Today's session, Agile Customer 360, is being recorded and will be made available on the BrightTalk platform after the webinar ends. During our session, we will present 3 poll questions to which we would love for you to respond. We will share the anonymized statistical results of the polls with our audience. Finally, we will have a Q&A session at the end, so please jot down your questions in the questions box, and we will try to attend to as many of these as possible. And with that, let's get started, and I will turn it over to you, Gil.
Thank you, Elisa. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. And hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this webinar about taking a data product approach to finally achieve Customer 360. My name is Gil Trotino. I'm Director of Product Marketing here at K2View. And very soon will be joining me Ron Ezekiel, Solution Director at K2View. Is already here in the room. And Ron will take us through a product demo during the second part of this webinar. So thanks for joining us, and let's really start. We have quite a packed agenda, and today we're going to talk about the fact that despite a massive investments that companies have made in their Customer 360 initiatives and programs, delivering real-time, trusted, and complete view of the customer is still a major challenge and still remains an elusive goal to most enterprises. So in the webinar, we'll first share with you why we believe that the conventional approaches like CRM, MDM, CDP, and others have failed to deliver the Customer 360 promise. And then we are going to introduce and demonstrate a transformational approach to complete your current Customer 360 journey in weeks using a data product approach. And all this by leveraging your existing investments and data infrastructure. So this is going to be our part. We also would like to request your cooperation, and we're going to shoot few poll questions during the session, and we really ask your cooperation. Please share with us some of the facts about your challenges and your thoughts about Customer 360. So you'll have very simple questions, and we'll ask you to provide some answers. We also would like to secure around 5 to 10 minutes at the end of the session to answer as many questions from you guys. So please use the chat box. Already now you can post your questions on the chat. Ron and myself will try to answer as many questions as we can. Let's start with our session. So when I actually came across a recent Gartner survey, customer survey that was published actually at the very end of last year, I was quite amazed. This Gartner survey basically says that only 14% of organizations have achieved 360-degree view of the customer. And again, the reasons vary, and we are going to touch on some of the challenges. I can tell you that data quality, poor data quality, and data integration challenges are one of the top 3 reasons or challenges of achieving Customer 360. But what was also very interesting is that although only 14% of organizations have made it and completed these programs or initiatives, 70% of the organizations claim that they are still working to get there. So 7 out of 10 organizations are still pursuing this challenge of getting single unified view of their customers. They are so much invested into it, and they really would like to get the business outcomes out of these initiatives. So this was the second part, and I really recommend you to go through the survey and to read it. I've posted here the Gartner report ID. If you can get to this survey, this is really highly interesting. And before we go on and talk about the challenges and why organizations fail to do it, Alisa, I think it's the right time to ask our audience the first question. And the first question is about the situation in your organization. Please help us to understand, how far are you with your Customer 360 initiative? Do you have such an initiative? Have you completed the journey already? Have you just managed to get partial outcomes or results, or do you have such plans for a Customer 360 initiative in the coming year? Please share with us, where are you in these with the Customer 360 journey? Alisa, have we polled the question?
It is posted.
Okay.
So results should be coming in a few seconds.
Great. I don't see. Okay. Please, guys, share with us. It's really important, and we are going to share the anonymous results with the audience. We have already some answers coming in. So have you achieved it completely? Have you achieved it partially? Are you just planning to run a Customer 360 initiative? Or maybe you have no plans at all. Maybe you have abandoned it, like 3 out of 10 organizations. So please let us know. And we are going to continue to get your results while we are continuing here with the presentation. So why so many organizations are putting such huge investments of time, money, energy to achieve Customer 360? I think this is quite commonly known. Customer 360 enable both B2C and B2B organizations to make their customer interactions personalized and profitable. And this, of course, allows them to initiate innovative business initiatives, which are all pending on fresh, trusted customer data. And as we know, unified customer view is going to serve multiple business domains within the organization, as we can see here. So we know marketing are going to use customer data to improve customer segmentation and to target the right customer with the right offer at the right time. Salespeople will use it to increase customer wallet share. Customer service will use the customer journey information in order to reduce the average handling time and to increase the first contact resolution, and of course to reduce churn and increase customer loyalty. But the same goes to the product teams that are going to use fresh customer data to enhance product adoption. Compliance people will use it for better compliance with regulations and different other governance policies. And finally, of course, the analytics team will use real-time customer insights in order to support and drive next best offering, next best recommendations, and minimize customer churn. So there are plenty of business domains that can benefit from fresh, unified customer data. This is probably one of the main reasons for organizations to put so much investment here. And the main reason is to serve these business domains. Now, let's ask you guys, who are the main business driver, who are the main Customer 360 consumer in your organization? So assuming that you have a Customer 360 initiative, who are the biggest or the main driver? Is it marketing? Is it sales? Is it customer service, finance, or maybe some or none of the above? So let us know who is the main business driver and the main consumer for customer data within your organization. Meanwhile, let's see how we're doing with the questions. So we are now with the second question and hoping to get your results. So let us know who is the main business consumer for your Customer 360 initiative. So why is it so challenging? So based on this Gartner survey that I just mentioned earlier, but also based on discussions we have with a lot of customers, we see these top challenges in achieving Customer 360. The first one is not really about technology, it's more about organization. And this is about the lack of consensus around what is Customer 360. We know that various business domains have different views and different needs when it comes to customer information, customer data. So gaining a consensus is a top challenge and requires a lot of cross-functional interaction within the organization. Quality of data is the second challenge. Consumer data is today fragmented across hundreds of systems, technologies, different formats, and it's very, very challenging to unify the data, to clean it, and to ensure compliance of customer data. This brings us immediately to the third channel, and this is around data integration. Data is increasingly distributed across different silos, and you need to integrate it. Siloed integration is normally very, very poor. It brings us to poor processes, to a lot of errors and missing of inaccurate data. Then we have, of course, the challenge of deliver fresh data. And today we know it's not enough to deliver customer data on a weekly, not even on a daily basis. You really need to deliver it in real time. When the contact center agent needs customer data, he needs to know exactly what the customer did a few seconds ago on another channel, on the store, on the self-service application. So the customer data need to be delivered fresh, up to date to all the different data consumers. This is a major challenge today. And of course, we have the need to support and address different and increasing data privacy regulations. And finally, for big organizations, and I know on this webinar we have representatives for many big banks, insurance companies, telco companies, healthcare companies, they also need support for high scale and high speed when delivering customer data. So these are some of the key challenges that we see today. So why conventional approaches fall short in delivering Customer 360? For the last 20 years, CRM application and CRM systems have promised us all to deliver Customer 360. Why can't they deliver this? We know that CRMs are very good, but they are very good in managing the data that they own. They manage very good sales, service, and marketing data. However, as we all know, customer data is spread across many other systems. Some of them are legacy systems. CRM systems fail basically to get hold of transactional data, of interaction data. And even if you decide to use your CRM as your customer data hub, you still need to integrate and bring a lot of other type of customer data from different other sources and bring it into your CRM system. So there is still a huge integration challenge. On top of it, as we know, many organizations use multiple CRM applications. So CRM will not be the ultimate answer for full holistic customer 360 probably. The same goes for CDP, Customer Data Platform. They are great solutions to serve your marketing departments. They are great in terms of customer segmentation, helping you to optimize your campaign management. Great solutions. However, they serve, once again, the silo of marketing. They do not support normally the management of master data, of transactional data. They lack data integration, data quality, data privacy, and other governance tools, which are very much needed to manage complete customer data. Master data management, another solution, very good and effective in managing master data, but still no support for customer interaction, customer transactions, and other elements that are needed for a complete solution. And finally, of course, we have the data lakes, great solutions for analytical workloads, not so great fit for operational and for the need to provide real-time customer data. So all in all, there are plenty of solutions in the market today. all of them are quite partial. They do not cover the entire scope of customer data. They do not serve the entire range of your business domains, which are the consumers that need this type of customer data. So they are limited, and in many cases, they are lengthy in terms of implementation and quite costly. So what did you try in the past? We'd like to ask you, which technologies have you tried to deploy during your customer 360 journey? And this is our third question to you guys, and we really would like to get your feedback. Did you use CRM to achieve customer 360? Did you use MDM, maybe CDPs, customer data platforms, or maybe in-house developments, maybe a mix and match of those? Let us know, please, if one of those technologies was something that you try to deploy or are deploying as part of your Customer 360 initiatives. Let us know that you are still there. Let us please share your answers. We already get, yeah, CRM is definitely one of the most commonly used technologies. We can see it already here from the few answers. I'm sure there are people that have tried to deploy MDM, CDPs. Let us know, which technologies have you tried. And while you are answering, actually, would like to present here a different approach to address the challenges of Customer 360, and we call it Agile Customer 360. And basically, this solution is, I would say, based on two major pillars, as you can see here on this slide. One pillar is the data product approach, and the second pillar is a way to deploy a data product approach. And this is our patented micro database technology. So let's start with data product approach and see what do we get by applying a data product approach to the Customer 360 challenge. The first thing that we get is that we are starting to talk about business-driven and outcome-focused entities when we talk about data products. And this means basically that we can start to deliver the business with incremental value, and then we can fine-tune and provide increased value with our data products. Okay, we can start with some understanding, with some common language that we define between the business and the IT about what is the customer data product, and then we can fine-tune and extend it as we move along. Another thing that we get is that we get something which is reusable across different business domains. Different business domains can get their own view of the customer data product. It can also serve us both for operational and for analytical workloads. So the same foundation of the customer data product will serve multiple use cases and multiple business consumers. And finally, this is an approach that can leverage your existing and current data management initiatives and investments. It comes on top of whatever you have. If you have CRMs, if you have CDPs, if you have other repositories with customer data, this new approach can leverage these investments and integrate to all these data management foundations. The second pillar of this approach is, as I said, a very specific and unique way to deploy and deliver data products. And this is the ability to what we call to deploy data products using the micro database technology. We'll explain it in more detail and we'll demonstrate it very soon. But this will enable us to deliver the data continually in real time, clean, trusted, on the fly to all the different business consumers. It will help us to do and to deliver flexible implementation in phases, so there is no need to deploy everything at once. You can deploy it in phases in a relatively quick deployment cycle, fuel both operational and analytical use cases, and finally, to support high-scale, enterprise scale with strong solutions for security, regulations, and data governance. The combination of these two pillars, the data product approach and the MicroDB technology, both comprise this solution that we call Agile Customer 360, which we are going to demonstrate very soon. So when it comes to data product, again, I'll share with you how we define data products. Data product on a high level is all about making the data you have about every business entity, in our case, this is a customer, continually and I would say instantly accessible to all your business consumers, okay? And the way to do it is to ingest the data continually from all your underlying systems, regardless of the technology and format. Then secure the data, make sure that it's being secured to support your data governance policies. The data can be delivered up to date, always fresh, so it can be trusted by all your data consumers. And finally, the same data product and the same customer data will be delivered to support both operational and analytical workloads. All of this needs also to support a product lifecycle. So like a software product, also the data product has its own lifecycle that manages the data products from the design stage through engineering, test, deploy, monitor. Everything needs to be managed as a product. When it comes to the second pillar about the way we deploy data products with the K2View data product platform, and this is what we call our secret sauce. This is what I explained as the micro database. So the K2View data product platform manages every individual data product instance with using its own secured micro database, which continuously sync information from all the underlying systems, encrypt them, store them, and deliver them to all the business consumers. So let's run a short animation on top of this slide, and hopefully you'll get the sense of it. The data is always being ingested on the fly, unified, enriched if needed, transformed, masked, secured, stored in the memory for performance requirements, and then a micro database is created for each individual customer instance. Then the data can be exposed and delivered to data lakes, to operational systems, to cloud applications, to AI and machine learning engines, and whatever application you have that needs fresh customer data. The fact that we use micro database for each and every customer instance enable us basically to support high scale of organizations, and simplicity is basically achieved because each consuming application, instead of the need to query huge amounts of databases, big joins of different tables, you just need to query the micro database and you get the data instantly, fresh, clean, and trusted. So this is a little bit about the secret sauce of the micro database. We'll see very soon during the demo how do we define the micro database schema, how we connect to the underlying systems, how we process and manipulate the data, and finally how we deliver and expose it to the different data consumers. Once we have this data product foundation ready, then we can enjoy the fact that the data is already unified and integrated. It can contain all the customer data, so master data, transactional data, interaction data, whatever you have across the enterprise is being unified into this single micro database. The data is always fresh, and of course, high quality data can be delivered to every application. On top of this, we will show you how a very comprehensive data transformation engine can support, using low code, no code, any type of data manipulation and transformation that is needed on the fly. And again, data is delivered to the different data consumers through different web services, APIs, and other methods. Security is there using different tools like data masking, data encryption, data tokenization, API management, which is role-based, so you can make sure that only the people that have access to the data can access it. Different business domains can have their own different views of customer data, and data, of course, is fully secured and complies with all your different regulations and governance policies. And finally, we talk about a data product platform that is highly modular, that is very open and can integrate to whatever data infrastructure you have, and can then be deployed on any type of deployment, including on-prem, cloud, private cloud, public cloud, hybrid environments. All these deployment modes are supported. You can deploy it in a centralized data fabric mode. You can also deploy it in a more federated data mesh mode. But this is really flexible deployment modes once you have built your data product foundation within this platform. So this is a little bit about the key capabilities that are supported. This is a little bit about the secret sauce of this approach. And just to share with you one single case study out of many. Again, we cannot publish the name, but this is a US Fortune 50 telco organization. As you can see here, quite complex, quite big, more than 100 million customers. We talk about more than 100 backend systems, so systems which contain customer data in different technologies, different formats, legacy, modern, etc. And we talk a lot about a lot of changes, more than 5 billion changes per day of the data. The data product platform of K2View today manages these organizations' customer data and deliver fresh data to different data consumers. As you can see here, the business impact is huge in terms of the speed of delivery, in terms of stability, availability, and more importantly, the customer experience, which can be delivered highly personalized, highly profitable to the consumers of this telco organization, which is using it for Customer 360, but also for other data management initiatives like test data management, data privacy, cloud migration, and others, all on top of the same technology. But since we are limited by time, I'd like really to very quickly move to our demo part. So just one slide about K2View. This is what we do. K2View was founded in 2009. We create, manage, and deliver data products at scale. Customer 360 is one of our most popular use case, but we support many other use cases. You can see here some of our customers which deploy the product platform today, some of our partners. And I'd like really to hand it over now and invite Ron to join me. Hi, Ron.
Hey, Gil, nice seeing you again, and thank you for having me over here.
Absolutely. And it's demo time, so
yes, so I'll just share my screen.
Please share with us, and let's go directly to the product demo.
Yes, and I will share my screen. If you can just feedback me. Yes, share. Okay. Oh my God, what did I do? Can you see my screen? You can.
Yes, we can.
So I'd like to illustrate, if it's okay with you, Gil, of course, I'd like to illustrate the data product and the Customer 360 via a demo we have. And the demo makes believe of a company that does city mobility. I mean, it rents scooters, it rents cars, electrical cars, of course, and bikes to individual customers. Of course, this is based on the data product. And what we have here, and I will show you right away, is the capability, of course, for a customer care agent to go ahead and query in regards to a specific customer. In this case, I chose customer number one, meaning I called micro database number one. And you can see within here, I have data which is coming, of course, from different sources. We'll speak about in a second. But you can see I have a Mrs. Griffin over here. This is a picture. This is a score. Of course, I have some personal information, which obviously came from a CRM system. Please pay attention to the address, and please pay attention to the way Pittsburgh is spelled here. We'll speak about it in a second. Obviously, We have masking capabilities, which are applied over here. You can see the asterisks here. Then there's a recommendation table, which comes up and tells us what are the recommendations because the customer care agent should come up. On this right-hand side here, we have real-time information, which is super important. I mean, we're dealing with people driving around the city, driving around the suburb. We want to know how much battery they have left, what is the speed they're driving at, and of course, what is the e-scooter's number. Location information is of essence as well. Additionally, we can go back and we can see here some historical information like recent rentals this madam had already, like in Seattle, Dallas, etc. We have a breakdown, a pie chart here, which shows us rentals by city. We have monthly rentals. We have, of course, the invoice part, which is something a customer care agent would be very eager to talk about and discuss. And most importantly, this has to be up to date, because if this Miss Griffin or Mrs. Griffin went ahead and paid one of an invoices right now and then called customer care, we need to be up to date. Obviously, there's some invoice information of months, etc. here. And a nice thing we can do here, and this is, of course, us exposing information, is we can write back to the data source using this new case info. So I can choose whatever, and I can say issue, I don't know what, number one, and I can submit, and I can assure that using our web service capability, this will go directly into the data source itself.
Great. So Ron, just let's clarify. We are starting now with the outcome. So basically what you show us is one sample application, yes, which was built on top of the platform.
Yes.
In this case, a dashboard for a customer dashboard for the contact center of this company, which is the City Mobility.
Right. And we see another customer here, and we can go on and on and on as per the customer call or as per any inquiry we want to do. And yes, this is the end product. This sits on top of our data product platform.
Okay. And I guess that now you are going to show us the behind the scenes. How do we get to this nice dashboard, and how quickly you can define a data product, connect it, etc. Okay.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the studio, which is our SDK IDA tool, where the implementation is being done, or where the use case is being implemented. I've already partly created the customer data product over here. You can see I already have two systems, or two different systems even. It doesn't really matter to me which are the technologies which are related. If it's okay with you, I will add the third technology again.
Yeah, we definitely need to show us how do you connect. How do you connect to different data sources?
Okay.
Which type of data sources are supported?
Okay. So maybe it's a good thing. First of all, I mean, let's take a look at what we can connect to and what we can. What are the interfaces or what are the connector types we have? So you can see there's a really wide variety of connectors which come out of the box. We call them interfaces. We have, and I'll scroll down, we have the common DBs, of course, SAP and DB2 are here, of course, Oracle here. We have DB virtualization things, etc. IBM, Netezza, Hive is here as well. We have, of course, as you showed in your very nice deck, we have a CRM system out of the box, so we can connect to Salesforce. But it's not only about databases; it's about data sources. Be aware. So I'm not limited to connecting to a database. I can connect, for instance, to a local file system. I don't know, receive a CSV with your with whatever information you want me to give you. I can receive images via SFTP. SSH is, of course, part of this as well. And then there's the event streaming. So I can practically consume events. I can listen to message buses. You can see Kafka over here. I can listen to JMSs, of course, etc. And then, I mean, there's the extension, so I can connect one fabric, which is my fabric, to another fabric. I mean, one can sit on top of the other. I can work inherently with Elasticsearch to enable matching, etc.
But let me challenge you. Let's say that you have an unsupported type of data source, which is not supported by one of your predefined connectors. What's then?
Okay, in this case, and I leverage the fact that I'm basically a Java platform, and you can see when I click over here, I can go ahead and I can say new custom database. So Practically, I can reuse templates I already have, meaning I can take, for instance, the DB2 and modify it as per my needs. For instance, add connection parameters or whatsoever, or I can go ahead and I can create a new database which is something which practically goes ahead and just says, okay, now I'm creating a new database. All you need to do is practically, and sorry, I failed to click over here, but I'll just say here, let's say, I don't know what, the new custom database, and let's say new over here and enter. And you can see that practically what happens is all I really need is the Java jar file. I wrap it up in here, I assign all the needed parameters, etc. And I practically have a new database over here. And I think, Gil, that in a sense, this really represents or makes a sense to the fact that we are an open system. We can connect to anything and to everything. Okay, so in the north or in the south or etc., which really enables us to bring in whatever information will provide the holistic view of a customer.
Okay, so we've connected. Show us how do you extend the schema with the new source, the third source, which
So just maybe quickly, I have already a CRM system. I hope it's not too small over here, and I have a billing system. I want to bring in the asset information. So I'm going to go, and I have the connections already established over here. You see the asset DB, which will come up in a second, is a SQLite system here. So practically, I have this capability to go all the way here, and I can connect directly to the asset database. And I can say, okay, I don't want all tables, because sometimes not all tables are really needed. So I can be as picky as I want to be. And excuse me, this is my bad clicking, and I want only these two tables. And you can see that I'm going to add these tables with relations, meaning I'm going to take advantage of my auto discovery capabilities while walking into the source and discovering the relations. And you can see that this is now running here over here. Let's frame it nicely. So we have a frame over there, and I'll put here asset.
Can you zoom a little bit inside? I think it's challenging for the viewers to see. So basically what we have here, this City Mobility, this company, they have customer data, which is more like master data from the CRM system, the Salesforce. They have finance data, which is what you call the billing database. And now you add the device data, which is basically the device about the assets, the bikes and the cars.
So you can see that the relationship was created automatically. I mean, we utilized our auto discovery capability here, and you can see, or I know in advance already, that I need to relate this by using the subscriber ID. You can see the subscriber ID over here, and there's a subscriber ID here. And practically what I will do right away is I will go ahead and I will connect it to the subscriber ID here. And I did not connect it right, but no problem. This is a drag and drop utility here. So I will just delete it and I will connect it again.
Can you zoom a bit more?
Yes, just a second. Okay. And I will zoom a bit more. So,
okay.
By the way, Gil, it's important to note, I mean, we want to shift to the left. We want to debug things on the fly. I mean, I can go ahead and deploy it and have the guys at customer care or whatever run the dashboard, and then there will be issues. But let's find issues before they occur. So I have what we call a data viewer here. And you can see I can go ahead and I can execute, for instance, customer number one, and I can go ahead and see, for instance, all his assets. I can look at his address, etc. And likewise, I can go ahead and I can call micro database number two or customer number two. So this is his address. This would be his customer information, etc.
So Ron, just to make sure, the query you just made for customer ID 2 brings already the information from the different sources, and brings it from the micro database after it was unified and connected, so you have everything here.
Correct, yes. But note that it will only go to the data sources at the first time, and if there's no synchronization rules, we have a nice capability here to include, for instance, synchronization rules. Let's just zoom a bit. This is not very friendly, but let's look, for instance, at table score. So when we talk about synchronization rules, we talk about synchronization rules per a table. So it's not like virtualizing or bringing everything or cloning everything or copying everything. But for instance, I can go ahead and decide I want to define a synchronization rule for this table only. And can I just mention quickly some options we have for synchronization here?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so the first and most obvious thing to do would be time interval, and I can go ahead and define here a period in seconds or minutes or whatsoever, and say if customer number 2 was not called for the last 10 seconds and the value here is, I don't know, 10 seconds, then go ahead and synchronize only customer number 1. Okay, so this means that the amount of exhaustion I put on the data source is really minimal, because I'm going only to a table and only for a single row or a single bunch of information which belongs to customer 1. Another way to synchronize data is by decision function. Decision function are like Boolean functions. For instance, we want to go ahead and synchronize, I don't know what, this table, this specific table, if this guy or this girl has more than 5 invoices which are open, more than 7 hours have passed ever since he rented the bike or whatsoever. So this would be the decision function, and this is a Boolean thing. Another way for us, by the way, to go ahead and synchronize data is based on CDC, where we, as Fabric, are able to subscribe to message buses and practically get information about the fact that you, for instance, relocated and moved places, or you rented a new bike, or I don't know what you are paying now with a new credit card, etc., etc.
So by this you can keep the balance between lowering the load on the source systems,
Right,
and still give fresh data to the business based on business requirements.
absolutely.
Okay.
And by the way, when I do so, when I use CDC, there's no load at all on the data source, because I'm practically listening to something, I'm being pushed with new data.
Yeah, the updates.
Okay, so
Great.
Do you want me to show you how I can go ahead and refresh the data?
I'd like if you can show us. So you showed us the schema. In many cases, you need to manipulate the data, right? You may need to clean it, to mask it, to enrich it. Where is it done?
We have a very nice tool. Just a second, I will just open it, of course. One moment. Which is called Broadway. And Broadway is a data orchestration tool, which practically has a very simple role to move data from point A to point Z. And while of course providing all kinds of manipulations on the way. Just if I may give a quick sentence about Broadway.
Come near it, because you're out of the frame. Yes,
and I have a nice face.
Yeah.
Okay, practically what happens here is we have stages. So things happen in a sequential manner. I mean, this stage will occur after this stage, etc., etc. And you can see that each stage contains an actor. By the way, if I can tell you, Gil, a stage can have more than one actor. Now, just take a look at the amount of out-of-the-box actors we have. I mean, we have, for instance, actors for parsing CSVs, and another bunch of actors for parsing XMLs. We can also do string manipulations. With this over here, you can see toString, substring, etc., etc. Now, the goal is of course to allow low code or even zero code implementation. Each and every actor has a bunch of parameters that need to be filled in, of course. But this is easy because there's no coding really involved here. And on the other hand, I can go ahead and just run, for instance, a debug and show you how I can actually debug or see what my work looks like. And again, just like with the data viewer, I mean, this is shifting to the left. Let's look again at that Miss Griffin here, and she was customer number 1, of course. And you can see that I will do this. I will just handle it. And practically, you can see that this yellow arrow appeared here, meaning I'm inside a debug process. I can, of course, debug stage by stage, and I receive a feedback to my face, as we say. And you can see at this stage over here, I already have the information. Remember, I showed you within the dashboard, the Pittsburgh was written like this with a capital first letter only, we can continue further, of course, and this is where we would insert the information into our Fabric micro database table. But what happens, for instance, if someone goes ahead and says, I don't want Pittsburgh in lowercase, I want to see something in uppercase. So really, really nice and easy. I can go ahead and I can use, for instance, an actor, as I said, which is called uppercase over here, and I will submit it, and you see it went into here, and all I need to do is now practically connect this into here. Of course, let's do it iterational, and then I connect this string into here, and now let's run our debug again, just to assure that things have changed, and quickly, this Pittsburgh over here is going to become this Pittsburgh over here. So this is data manipulation. Of course, we could do things which are more sophisticated, concatenations, replacements, read from lookups, etc. But this is data manipulation.
Nice. Okay. So, show us now a little bit about how the data can be exposed. We talked about serving different data consuming applications.
Right. So I would just open the web services section, which is the mean of exposure, which we use here. And practically what we have within our dashboard is based on this low code or zero code to a tool called Graphit, as it's called Graphit. So, I mean, we are using here drag and drops and stuff to come ahead and really create the web service instead of using complicated Java code or whatsoever. Let's again go back to our customer number one and debug him, and we can see that this is the information we received. And now, I can go ahead and say, remember, I had these asterisks at my initial state. I can go ahead and say, okay, I don't want asterisks in the SSN. I want to have dollars, okay?
Okay.
So I will put dollars over here, and maybe $4, just to keep consistent. Let's run the debug again, and you can see I'm getting the information on the fly. The SSN is now composed of dollars. I'm sure you can see. And let's assume also that I don't want to see the first name as whatever it is, authentic. I want to see instead asterisks, okay? And I don't know. I mean, this is, I think, a good example of manipulation. And all I need to do is really press the button. By the way, I can show the information in JSON format or XML format. JSON format is what's relevant over here. Let's run the debug again. You can see that the first name just changed to asterisks. The dollar sign is of course maintained, and the city name, by the way, will be just as I put in the manipulation back there with the Broadway, meaning what will show in capital. Do you want to show?
I believe you, but can you show this on the application?
That's my question.
Let's see the impact of these changes
so let's
on our dashboard.
Let's go back here, run customer number one, and you can see the dollars. You can see that the first name did not change, so I probably changed it at the wrong place. But again, this is it.
So you added dollars to the SSN.
Yes.
And you changed the.
And here is the Pittsburgh in capital. Remember?
Okay.
Yes.
And you manipulated the city to uppercase.
Yes.
So instantly these changes are affected on the dashboard because the data is delivered in real time from the MicroDB, and it was.
And you remember how easy it was for me to create the Graphit file. I mean, I did not need any Java coding, etc. over there.
Okay, great. I think this is for now. We don't have more.
I enjoyed it, Gil. Thank you for inviting me.
Sure. Stay here because we may have questions. So let's move back to our presentation. Just
let me just exit the sharing mode.
That's okay. So first of all, if you are interested in seeing more, let us know. And we have your poll question number 4, asking you if you would like to get a more detailed demo session on the K2View Agile Customer 360 solution. We just showed you some highlights. Let us know if you'd like to get a full detailed demo session. We are happy to do it. And before we move on, and before we go to your questions, just a short summary. We talked a lot about Customer 360, the benefits and the challenges. We hope that we managed to show you that with a data product approach for Customer 360, there is a way to complete the journey and to bring you to the promised land, on top of what you've invested already in a matter of weeks or a couple of months, depends on of course, the complexity of the organization. But there is a way to bring you to the promised land, to deliver fresh, clean, complete customer data to different data consumers using a data product approach, which is going to support both operational and analytical use cases, and more importantly, deliver real-time data, fresh data, trusted data to serve all business domains from a single platform. So this basically is what we wanted to achieve. I hope that you managed to get a little bit of a glimpse into this unique approach. And let's see if you guys have any question that you'd like to ask us. We still have around 10 minutes to address your questions. So we are moving now to the Q&A part. And before the Q&A, just briefly, I promised you that we are going to show you and share with you some of the results. So just for you to know, when we asked about the Customer 360 initiative, so 37% said that they made some progress but not achieved the completed Customer 360 goal. 50% said that they are in planning phases or interested to do so. 12 people have said that they are going to, that they have no plans to do Customer 360 in the next 2 years. Nobody said they've completed their Customer 360, so we are in alignment with the Gartner survey results. The second question was about business challenges. Seems that most of you said that some of the above, so you have multiple consumers. Marketing was the highest number of people have said marketing is the key consumer, 20%. 10% said it's customer service, and 10% said it's finance. And when we asked about different technologies, CRM is definitely the winner. 63% of you guys have implemented or tried to implement CRM to achieve Customer 360 initiative. We didn't get any other answers. So let's go to your questions now. And we have some questions. So the first question, Ron, somebody is asking, where do you store the micro database? Do you use your own proprietary technology?
No, we use Cassandra as a blob store. We use Cassandra as the micro database. I'd call it parking lot. So practically, whenever I call for customer Gil, and whenever I bring Gil in the picture, after Gil goes off the line and goes to take his nap, his micro database is encrypted, is compressed, and is sent to Cassandra until the next time Gil calls again.
Okay, great. Another question is GDPR an inhibitor to Customer 360 view? I believe yes. I believe that, and I think I mentioned it, data compliance and regulations are an inhibitor, because if you wish to manage your sensitive personal information, you first need to know where this data resides, right? And if this data is spread across so many different sources, you need first to manage it. Once you manage it, once you map your personal data, you can start applying different requirements, such as removing the data, which is part of the GDPR, or being able to report on personal data or modify the data. So yes, we have customers who are driven by GDPR or other data privacy regulations to manage their privacy. We have another question here.
Maybe it's important to note, as per the question I had before, I mean that we're also running tests on Azure and stuff, and approving well. So it's not Cassandra only. It's practically any
right.
data store.
Any data blob store, including Microsoft Azure and other.
That's what I said.
Yeah, great. And we have another question here, and the question is, where is it? We have plenty, so we need to choose. Can your solution be deployed on-prem, on the cloud? So you want to answer it?
Yeah, it can be deployed on-prem, on the cloud, hybrid. It can be a private cloud. It can be a known logo cloud. I mean, we are super flexible over there, and deployment will really fit your needs as feasible.
Great. Another very important question. How do you sync or export the data from your micro database into data consuming applications? Do you have connectors already set up?
So I did show the connectors, out of the box connectors. We can also leverage an internal CDC over here. Any type of API will do it. It is important to note again, Gil, that our system is open in the north and open in the south. So CDC, for instance, of course, is an option.
Okay. Guys, come on with more questions. Let's see if we can answer all of them. We have another one. How about the possibility to apply, e.g., masking throughout the micro database to affect view of all customers or for a specific data product? Can you talk a little bit about applying masking?
So masking is applied as per selected PII columns or discovered PII columns within the micro database or within the data product schema. Applying can be based on rows. So I mean, I may be able to see things which Gil may not be able to see, and this can be at the column a level. So I mean, if we talk about, we go back to the dashboard I just showed you. I mean, if this dashboard is used in multiple countries, some countries may be able to see the customer information masked to a certain levels. Other countries or other representatives will see it in an authentic level. So there's a lot of flexibility here. Masking, by the way, we practice. We also embed, or we also emphasize the referential integrity. And masking can be based on whatever algorithm or whatever.
Yeah, maybe it's also the right place to say that a lot of our customers are using the platform for test data management, to basically to generate and provision test data. And masking is, in many cases, a critical requirement. So when they deliver the test data, they do different types of masking to make sure the data is secured, and they do not deliver personal data as part of their data testing. So absolutely, data masking capabilities are inherently part of the platform capabilities. And we have a question about data mesh. Of course, data mesh is one of the most emerging trends. Can you support a data mesh deployment? So again, I think I related to it. Yes, we do support both data mesh federated type of deployment or a more centralized, what we call data fabric. We have support for multiple domains can define their own data products. They can also use the roles and authorizations to decide which consumers can view which parts of the customer data. As we said, different types of different organizations, different business domains need different parts of the data. You don't need to deliver all the data to all your data consumers. You can definitely apply it in a federated, decentralized way. Both options are available. And I think that we are really running out of time. So if you have more questions, feel free to approach us. We will be very happy to answer your questions also via email. And I'd like to thank you, Ron, for
thank you so much
delivering the demo. Alyssa, thanks for moderating this. The recorded session is available, so please share it with your peers. And thank you very much for joining this session on Agile Customer 360. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Gil.